Hello, I would like to briefly provide you with information about ProxySeer. ProxySeer is a software that runs on Internet Information Services and allows you to connect to important users in your databases using proxy users, granting permissions, and easily tracking these permissions. With ProxySeer, when connections are established using proxy users, you can grant or revoke connection permissions to your databases for developers at the intervals you specify, without them knowing the passwords of important users. When ProxySeer is first deployed, you can log in with the active root user. Once an admin user is created by the root user becomes inactive. From then on, you can access the console with the admin user you have specified. First, we write the username as root. Then we enter the password. Finally, we select the database and click the login button. After connecting with the root user, we need to create a repository for ProxySeer. To create the repository, first go to the Options section and enter the username, password, and repository database information provided by the database administrator. Select Option from menu, then enter username and password. Afterward, we enter the hostname, port, and service name information for the repository database. Once all the information is entered, we click the Test Connection button. After seeing the successfully connected message, we complete the repository creation process by clicking the Create Repo button. After successfully creating the repository, we can now add databases. From the menu, select Manage Database and click the plus button to access the Add New Databases form. If the database you want to add is a container database, enter the service name for the container database in the service name field. Then, for the Enter Pluggable Databases section, list the service names of the pluggable databases you want to add, separating them with semicolons. Let's go through how to add a container database and pluggable database together. First, we need to enter a unique ID, which can be any name. As the unique ID, I am entering some. Next, enter the username and password you want to set. Enter the information for the container database you want to add in the hostname, port, and service fields. Finally, enter the service names of the pluggable databases, separating them with semicolons. After filling in all the information and clicking the Test Connection button, ProxySeer will automatically generate a script. Download the script, connect to the container database you want to add using SQL+, and execute the script. Then, after clicking the OK button, you will be able to see the databases in the list on the right-hand side. If you select the top container database, all pluggable databases underneath it will automatically be added. Alternatively, you can choose to add just one pluggable database. Both options are possible. Since I want to add all the databases, I will click the plus button next to top container database. After clicking the plus button, you can see that all the databases have been successfully added. Now we can proceed to the step of creating proxy users. To create a proxy user, click on the Manage Proxy User section, then click the plus button to add a new proxy user, either from Active Directory or by creating a new one. First, I will show you how to add a user from Active Directory, and then we will create our own proxy user. Choose Add User from Active Directory. Then, click the refresh button, and you will see a list of Active Directory users. You can add the desired user by clicking the plus button. You don't need to set a password for the Active Directory user, as this proxy user can log in using their password from Active Directory. By clicking Yes, the proxy user is automatically created in the selected database. You can now authorize the proxy user to access important users in the database. Now, let's create a new proxy user by selecting Create New Proxy User. You can choose the database in which you want to create the new proxy user from the list. Next, enter the new proxy username and password. If we want the new proxy user to change their password after logging in, select After Logon, enter new password. Finally, by selecting Inform Proxy User with mail, the details are sent to the provided email address for the newly created proxy user. After entering all the information, we click the Save button to successfully create the proxy user. Now, it's time to grant database access permissions to the proxy users we've created. To do this, select Proxy User Privileges from the menu. Next, select the proxy user you want to grant permissions to from the list. Choose the database user you want the proxy user to connect with and add them by dragging and dropping into list. Finally, activate the connection by clicking the toggle button. Now, when this proxy user logs in with their own credentials, they can view the list of authorized users in the database and send connection requests. Let's open a new session for the proxy user in a separate tab. However, before logging in, let's go to the Monitor Requests section where we can monitor all incoming requests in real time. Afterward, we can open a new session for the proxy user. Now, let's log in with the proxy user we created. After entering the proxy user credentials, the proxy user control panel appears. From here, the proxy user can send connection requests only for authorized and activated database users, or request the revocation of a granted permission. Additionally, the user can filter all past connection requests. After clicking the plus button for a connection request, the new request form appears. From the list of databases, only those with authorized databases are displayed. Once a database is selected, the list of database users shows only authorized and activated users. After choosing a database from the list, select a user from the database user list. The email information is automatically populated and cannot be changed. If the desired permission is to be given within a specific time frame, start date and end date can be selected. If neither is chosen, the requested permission will be granted indefinitely. If an end date is set, ProxySeer will automatically revoke the permission when the selected time is reached. Similarly, if a start date is chosen, ProxySeer will automatically grant the permission at the selected time. Finally, enter the task description and send the request. After a request is successfully sent, its status will be in a waiting state. At this point, the admin or operator user is responsible for granting the permission. When we return to the admin panel and look at the Monitor Requests section, we can see the connection request from proxy_user2 to user1 in the database. At this stage, we can either reject or approve the request. Additionally, from the password type list, we can select either OTP or default password. If OTP one-time password is chosen, ProxySeer will generate a one-time password. Once the proxy user makes the connection, the password will automatically change. If default password is chosen, the proxy user will connect using their own password. Note that OTP is not applicable for users created by Active Directory. Once the accept button is clicked, information is sent to the proxy user's registered email, and the proxy user can now connect to the database user. When we return to the proxy user panel, we can see the request status as granted by admin. Let's try connecting with the proxy user, and then use the admin account to revoke the granted permission. After connecting with the proxy user and entering the password information, you can return to the admin panel to revoke the permission you previously granted, or if necessary, directly kill the session. Now, let's return to the admin panel and revoke the permission we previously granted. In the admin panel, you can click the cancel button to revoke the permission you gave. You can even click the kill session button to terminate the open session. After revoking the permission by clicking the cancel button, try connecting again to test the changes. As you can see, since we revoked the permission, the proxy user can no longer establish a connection. From the admin panel, click the kill session button to terminate the open session. Afterwards, when we try to execute a select query in the open session, we can see that we are no longer connected. With the admin panel, you can directly grant permissions, execute detailed queries, and review all previously granted permissions. Finally, I will show you how to create a user role for only monitoring. To do this, choose the Manage ProxySeer Users section from the menu. Again, click the plus button to bring up the form to add a new user. From here, select Opera from the Select Row list, and then enter the username, password, and email information. Click the Save button to save the new user. Now you can log in with this user and view incoming requests and grant permissions as needed. Let's log in with the Opera user. After entering the username Opera and the password, we log into the Opera panel. This role allows you to view and approve requests, but does not grant permissions such as creating new permissions or terminating sessions. ProxySeer offers many additional features, including the ability to view queries executed by proxy users and detailed queries from the past. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video.